making jokes, having conversation about it, getting on stage and talking about what's going on, I think is what we do as comedians all the time. If it's current event, if it's news, we're going to talk about it. We're going to help people process it. That's the job.
I'm Sharmon.
I'm Katie.
And this is Unpacking Ethical,
a podcast where we sip our favorite drinks at the moment
and talk about some things.
Because there's nothing ethical about upholding the status quo.
Let's talk about it.
This week on Unpacking Ethical.
Hey, this is Sharmon, and we are without Katie today, but we are back for another episode of Unpacking Ethical. And today we are unpacking comedy. And we've got two of my favorite comedians. I'm just going to say it's like two of the best comedians out there. We just going to say that. We can say that?
Wow.
We can say
that. We're going to say that. We're going to say that. And so we're here to unpack comedy with them. So we've got, I'm going to say Becky Lynn, because she just right here at the top. Sorry, Ta'Vi, you down at the bottom of the screen. And Ta'Vi, who you guys remember from last season.
Why is it beeping?
Is the desk
because you
with you?
accidentally set a timer. She probably set a timer on it. It'll go off.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You want to start over?
No, because I like it, and we gonna keep it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, leave that
Okay.
But to get started, we're gonna ask y'all what you drinking.
Oh, okay. I'm drinking champagne because I'm a classy bitch.
Hi.
And I'm drinking a mimosa. It's the same champagne that Ta'Vi has, but I added some cold pressed juice because
it's 11 in the morning.
First of all, I love these glasses.
I haven't had breakfast yet.
I like the champagne glasses with like no stem.
Right.
I feel like that is like perfect for somebody like me that like spills things everywhere.
Becky does love a stemless glass.
All the time. I do. It's all I have. I have one wine glass that has a stem on it that I bought at the Dollar Tree like 7 years ago.
And it's still working for you?
I don't really use it, but I have it there in case, I don't know, we have company, I guess. Ta'Vi doesn't count, but.
I'm like, everything I bought from the Dollar Tree has been broken.
Yeah, I break a lot of stems, so I just stopped buying them. Yeah. But these mimosas are delicious.
Amazed. Ooh, okay, so let me tell y'all, because as I was telling you earlier, Ta'Vi shamed me last season because I was drinking water. But today we got a hard cider, some pineapple from Trader Joe's. This is what we're drinking today.
Okay, I love that. I love hard cider.
It's called pineapple shirt. I don't know why.
Does it taste like pineapple?
It does taste like pineapple.
Pineapple hard cider sounds delicious.
It is amazing.
It does. But calling it pineapple shirt is weird. But that's, Trader Joe's does weird shit sometimes. So
They do. They do. And I haven't decided, like, I don't even know if I should have said Trader Joe's because I think I'm supposed to be mad at them, right? Didn't we discover that in 2020?
Oh, what did they do? What are they doing? What did they do? Remind me.
I think it was like some of the names of their products people were saying were like
Trader Jose's and Trader Ming's.
Mm-hmm. Trader Ming's, yeah. Mm-hmm. I just stopped buying those things. Which I don't think is the...
It's not. It's still Trader Joe's.
We just not gonna get that.
I just stopped supporting the inclusivity that they tried to do and told them there's no demand for diversity.
Poorly executed.
Just to shame Trader Joe's, I told them that
someone else.
Nobody wants ethnic foods. That's what we told Trader Joe's.
Still buy their samosas. They didn't come up with like a weird name for their Indian food. Probably because they don't know any Indian names. Trader Joe's is not great.
So we're not. We're not going to stop laughing. It's just not going to happen.
It's a comedy episode.
But we are going to talk about comedy because comedy's having it's having a moment, but it's been a moment. Mm-hmm. And all kinds of stuff are happening surrounding comedy.
That's true.
And so-called comedians.
Yes.
Because I don't, Ta'Vi and I were talking. I didn't know Joe Rogan was a comedian, y'all. Maybe
Oh,
do I
you
just
didn't
not find
know?
it funny? I didn't know he was a comedian. I don't know what I thought he was. I thought he was just like some random white dude that just had to feel his guts.
Fair enough. That had a podcast. Yeah, that's fair.
He was just another one of those, right? There's so many of them.
Yeah.
There are. Anyway, comedy.
This is comedy. It's all comedy. First of all, I gotta know. I feel silly because I listened to your guys' podcast, but I gotta let the rest of the people know about how you guys got into comedy. Like, how did you guys enter into this world?
I'll go first. I was living in a very small, predominantly white college town, Northern California. And I was working at Wingstop. I had a coworker who at the time I really wanted to fuck. And he hosted an open mic. So he hosted an open mic downtown, and he had invited me probably like the first or second week that we worked together. He invited me to the open mic, and I went and I watched, and I was like, oh, this is like a fun thing to do on a Monday night. And so that was like my routine. Like I would get off work Monday, go home, change, head downtown, drink beer and watch open mic comedy. And then after like a couple months, I was like, wow, these guys suck. Not all of them, but like there were, they weren't like exceptionally good. But it was the first time I think that I had ever had access to like stand-up comedy that wasn't on TV. Yeah. And kind of after seeing like, just such a variety of styles, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure that I could do that and not suck. And so after quite a few months of watching, my coworker actually ended up moving to New York to pursue stand-up. He's doing very well for himself now. He didn't suck. But I decided to try, and then I went up at the open mic and never looked back. And that was almost 8 years ago.
Oh, wow.
8 years ago in September.
So you mean you have like 8 years of content that I'm not seeing on Instagram that I'm missing out on?
What?
Becky, what?
I wouldn't say you're missing out. Okay.
Wow. I have a lot of unposted material. I think that I always I get very self-conscious about like posting clips. So I'll like edit something and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to post it tomorrow. And then I just don't. And then it just sits.
Yeah.
And I never do anything with it. But I'll try to be better.
She's
Same,
terrible.
though. But my stuff isn't funny, but same.
It's hard putting yourself out there.
You could do it.
Ta'Vi, tell us your story.
I got into comedy because I was dating somebody who wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And he had stage fright. I don't know why I tipped him about it. He had stage fright, and every time he got on stage, he was terrible, but I had been helping him write jokes. And I got upset because of how he was delivering the jokes. He just wasn't doing it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't get on stage. It was really bad. And then when we broke up and I came back to California, I was like, well, I'm going to do stand up and like make him look bad. It was just like a very spiteful thing for me to do, where I was like, and I have jokes about that. And I'm like, yeah, because I want to be petty and I'll be better at him at the thing that he wanted to do, but was too afraid to get done properly. And so I did it. And I like to say Marvelous Mrs. Maisel pre the show, because every time I tell people this, they're like, oh my gosh, isn't that the plot of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? And I'm like, no, because it was my life. It was my actual life.
So this is another show that I need to see.
No, you don't need to see it. I'm telling you the plot right now.
Fine.
It's won some awards, but who cares about awards? So yeah, I got into comedy mostly out of spite, got on stage the first time and killed it. And that gives you just like a false sense of greatness, which we all have. So I killed it the first time. I remember going to my first open mic, and similar to Becky, I saw it and was like, wow, this is what's making people laugh. I could do this. And so when I got on stage, I made people laugh, and I've been doing it ever since.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love what you guys do. I love listening to your show. I wish I could be like that. Like I can be funny when I write, but I can't deliver it. It can't come out my mouth. It doesn't work. It doesn't happen.
I mean, it's practice too.
Mm-hmm.
That
like
means
I feel like I feel similar in that I can write funnier things than I can say them. I'm not a quick thinker. So like I don't say things.
She is quick. She's very quick. She's not as quick as she wants to be, but she's quick.
That's true. I'm not as quick as I would like to be. I feel like I have to just like think. I overthink things for too long. But part of it, I mean, if you have a knack for like writing anything funny, then it's there.
Yeah. You'll figure out how to deliver it.
Yeah.
I do. When I do listen to your stuff, Becky, not that you're not good at delivering it, but I'm like, I do think about these things and I'm like, she would be like a great like comedy show writer.
Who, Becky?
Me?
Well, both of y'all would be, but I think every time I listen to Becky do something, I'm like, Becky should really be writing a TV show.
Wow.
I really should, which is why I've started writing 2 and I haven't finished any.
She doesn't finish them.
I don't.
I think that's just like part of being a creative, right? We just have like a lot of unfinished projects.
Yeah, and then I look at them and I'm like, I just need to start fresh.
Yeah, you're like, I hate all of this. What was I even thinking?
And then I write 3 variations of the exact same thing.
Did I tell you guys that I got high and drunk and wrote the butterfly effect? Because I did. I got super high. I'm telling you, I was like so drunk. And I was like in the zone and I was like, I was like, I'm the greatest writer of my generation. I was like, you could not tell me that what I was writing wasn't Money in the Bank. I was like, this right here is this is everything. This is my raison d'etre. Okay. I was meant to do this. This is what it's all been leading up to. And then I stopped for a second and read it back and was like, this is the plot of The Butterfly Effect, starring Ashton Kutcher. Did you guys just see something go past the camera?
No.
There's a ghost in this house.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't play with me. I saw something. You're gonna have to roll when you rewatch this. Talk to me. Tell me if you see something. No, I turned the fan off.
Oh.
So like there was like a white, whoosh, and it went this way.
I mean, also it's possible. There is for sure is a ghost in this house. She's really nice though.
Okay, well, I just want you to know.
What you're saying is I need to edit in the like broad daylight.
I need you to, but then like when you come across,
I mean, it's gonna stay here no matter what.
Tell me if you see it. I'm gonna call you.
I feel like I just saw something, but I think it might have been Becky's glass that just went.
Oh yeah, it probably was.
I was like, wait.
Yeah. No, mine was behind me. It was literally behind. It came from behind my head in like a white.
I realized that there was a ghost in this house when I was in the baby's room. It was originally my office, and I had hung a wall tapestry on the wall, like immediately to the right. And then I left, we went out for the night, and I came back, and half of it was ripped down.
Oh.
But it was like ripped down in a way that like it had to be pulled down. Like there was it couldn't have just fallen the way that it fell. And I was like, oh, she didn't wipe that. That's fine. I staged the next day. And I like regularly stage and like open the windows and everything. But I don't know. She seems fine.
Okay.
I think she's just the lady that owned it
like,
before.
What was wrong with the tapestry?
I think I don't know. The vibe that I get is that she isn't from a generation where wall tapestries are like nice.
Oh, it's tacky.
Yeah, I think she thought it was tacky. And I was like, fair enough. To be fair, the way I hung it up was really tacky, but it's because I didn't want to, these are plaster walls, so I didn't want to like drill into them. So I put in like 3 thumbtacks and then I hung it with binder clips, but it did look cheap as fuck. But it was also a backdrop. I was using it for when I was doing Zoom shows. Regardless, it's gone now. I took it down that day. I was like, okay, we're getting to know each other. But now, I mean, I don't really, she minds her business.
She was not appreciative.
Except when she's in there. Maybe she doesn't like Ta'Vi in the bedroom.
It's a possibility.
Is that a candle?
I don't know what this is.
It's my Apple pencil. It's an Apple pencil.
Is it pink?
It's purple.
It's purple.
Can you have a colored one? I want a colored one.
I put it back.
It's a cover. It's a cover that I bought on Amazon.
Okay, well,
I'm
let me go
trying
buy
to
myself
find
a
a
cover.
pin to steal.
Look, Ta'Vi, we are recording. You cannot be committing crimes.
I'm taking notes.
And I already took inventory, so you can't steal anything.
Ooh, this one's nice.
You can have that one if you want it.
Can I?
So yes, comedy.
An unpacking comedy. We're gonna unpack it.
Unpack comedy. We done talked about how you guys got into it. Now, okay, I'm really curious because I feel like comedy for so long has been like this very white male, as with anything, it's been a very white dominated like space. And I'm really curious about how you guys navigate that because in my personal opinion, Black folks have always been just funnier.
Yeah.
Just my imagination.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, we're funnier. But I think that because comedy comes from tragedy, right? Comes from struggle, comes from adversity. Finding something to laugh about. Like the real good, gritty comedy comes from the bad stuff that's happened and like finding the light in those moments. And when you face as much of adversity as like minorities have, then like, yeah, we're funnier. There's nothing funny about like punching down and like talking about how great your life is. Nobody cares.
Right. It's not relatable.
No.
Which I think is why, like, even now, the most successful, I mean, not the most successful, but to me, like, the funniest of white male comedians are the ones that kind of just talk about absurd shit. They don't try to, like, do anything that's, like, shock value or anything that's super thoughtful because they know that there's not a space for their voice there. So, like, a lot of, white male comedians that I have, like, laughed at consistently just talk about silly shit or being dumb, which they are, but it's like enjoyable to like hear their commentary on it.
Let me tell you about how stupid I am.
Yeah, that's why I like Nate Bargatze.
I like
well, and I also think that like for comedy too, a lot of this stuff, a lot of this entertainment originated in the Black community to begin with. That's the whole point of like we're funnier because we started it. Everything else was just stolen from us. I mean, we had to perform. I mean, you think about being placed in like positions where we're asked to entertain white folk. We had to be funny. We were the jesters of all of it the whole time. So it was like, what are you going to do? And then they took it and made their own little sideshows of it. But we've been doing this.
And I'm like,
that's so true because like even looking at like the concept of like minstrel shows and like other super offensive shit was just very much a terrible impersonation or I guess like
they've been ripping us off for centuries. Wondering why they're not as funny because they can't do it.
Yeah.
Stealing spices and can't use them. But I'm thinking about that because like just comedy coming from tragedy, because I feel like all this stuff surrounding like the January 6th hearings and people were like, stop making memes about them, don't laugh. But I'm like, all I'm seeing is just like funny craziness all over like Black Twitter. But people's like, we need to like remember how serious this is. But I'm like, this is how we process, right?
This is how we work through stuff. Yeah.
So I'm like curious how you guys feel about people being like, no, don't make fun of the January 6th. Don't create memes. Don't do different things about that because we have to be serious about this.
It feels weird to collectively observe something as a society and then deem it like something like that it was so silly as it was happening. Like also horrifying and like, you know, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But it was to try to pretend like there wasn't some level of, we were all fixated on it. We wouldn't have been fixated on it if it was boring.
Right.
So I think like to not acknowledge how entertaining it was, it's kind of ridiculous. It's ignoring like a huge fact.
But humor is also how we move through these things. I mean, it's not to trivialize it, it's to process it.
Right.
And I think there's a difference. I also will say, I do agree with like not making people famous. Like I wouldn't necessarily like highlight individuals and start sharing their pictures and give them, because people will use that to create their own platforms, which they'll build off, especially all those kinds of people build platforms of hate and things like that. Yeah. But if I just want to talk about January 6th and I want to make a joke and I want to talk about the hearings, then that's fine. But I mean, they were like circulating pictures of like some of the protesters and stuff like that. And it's like, don't make that man a meme. You know what I mean? Don't make that woman a meme. Don't give them the opportunity to capitalize off of their
contributing to their infamy is like not ideal for like individuals.
But like making jokes, having conversation about it, getting on stage and talking about what's going on, I think is what we do as comedians all the time. If it's current event, if it's news, we're going to talk about it. We're going to help people process it. That's the job.
Mm-hmm. Okay, random question. I feel like I'm just in like the middle of an episode of It's Crazy You're in My Business. So I'm just going to ask y'all some random questions.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, what comedy show or movie would you guys want to be in?
Oh, like that's current?
It could be current. It could be
or just anything.
Anything. Like
what do you comedy show or movie?
Or I guess it doesn't have to be comedy because you can get in there and just.
Honestly, I would have loved to be a part of Schitt's Creek. I would have loved to be. I would have loved to be a part of Schitt's Creek. Give me because here's the thing. I'll say this: I am not an actress. I have no dreams of being an actress. I am a writer to my core. If you see me in something, it would be a small minor part. If I ever wrote anything that got picked up, I would be like a really tiny bit character. I don't have the dream.
Performer though.
And I don't on stage. Yes, I do not have the dreams of being in front of the camera. That's never been my thing. But I would have done like a small part in Schitt's Creek. Like I would have loved that. And I would have loved to have been in the writer's room. I love Catherine O'Hara. So when you asked the question, the first things that popped in my mind were Best in Show and Schitt's Creek, both of which have Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, because I think she is phenomenal. I like just everything about her comedic timing. I think she is probably one of the greatest currently living comedic actresses that we have, if not the best right now, because we have to think about this. Betty White, may she rest in peace, has passed away. I don't have none of my Golden Girls left. You know what I mean? And so I think
is Carol Burnett still alive?
I think so.
Okay, keep going.
But I don't know. I don't know. I was never a huge Carol Burnett fan, so I will not.
I was. But yeah, okay. Yeah.
But for me,
thank you so much.
For me, Catherine O'Hara is like is top tier. Like just the timing, the cadence, everything about her delivery, her improv skills. Just she has the ability to straight man it or go completely absurd and ridiculous. And she has an accent for everything. She's got an impression. Like she is just so masterful. She studies people in a way that's like insane, because she can just mimic and like everything's fantastic about her. So for me, Schitt's Creek, hands down.
Okay, for me, I really think I feel like my answer is not going to be as deep as that. I would want to be in an episode of The Other Two. Love that show.
Good. Molly Shannon's also up there for me. Is it Molly Shannon? No, not Molly Shannon.
Molly Shannon, yeah.
It is Molly Shannon, yes. Mm-hmm. Molly Shannon is also up there for me with comedic actresses. So funny. Yes. Oh my God.
So I think The Other Two, either The Other Two or White Lotus. But I really think I would have a lot of fun on the set of The Other Two. Mm-hmm. Just like a super small role, like a server in a restaurant or a barista.
I don't know why y'all want to be super small, because you both have like main character energy. I just need y'all to accept that.
But you know what is so funny is that like I think some of the greatest roles are small roles. Like some people just like pop in for their like.
First of all, there are no small roles. We have to remember that.
Only small actors. Okay, yes. But like, you know, people who pop in for like their quick 1 or 2 lines and they like steal the show. That's what I want to be. Leave them wanting more. Give them a good and then get out, because I don't.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to give you that, because I think every favorite character I've always had has always been one of like the side characters.
Yes.
They're always the best. They're always like
really
the comedic relief, or just because why are the main characters never funny? What is that? Can we unpack that?
You know, they have a lot of pressure.
I think, the pressure to build story.
Yeah.
Background, when you think about the writers and like their main character, they have to spend a large time giving you background before they can make them funny. And side characters usually come in as after the story's been built, right? After you've established the universe that you're in. And so side characters kind of get it easy.
Yeah.
They don't have to move the story forward. So they don't have to use their dialogue or their time to push it forward. They can just use it to be that little quick thing.
That's true. That's true.
Also, have you watched the other two?
I have not.
You should watch. If you like comedy, that one's really good. The other two is really good. I vouch for that as well.
Okay, I feel like I gotta take notes. Ta'Vi's over there taking notes. Now I gotta start taking some notes.
Ta'Vi is doing her signature.
With my new pen.
I was just thinking about Psych.
Okay. No, this is another corny show. Sharmon.
I'm sorry.
My mother watched Psych on TBS.
It was so ridiculous.
Okay, but I watch a corny show.
I watch
The Rookie.
Oh, not The Rookie.
I love The Rookie.
God. All those shows.
I also watch 911. And I watch Austin 911.
You watched The Good Doctor too?
I did on Hulu for like 3 seasons.
Gosh.
Like, you know what? Let me tell you, my favorite thing in the world is to like get a bad movie that I know is going to be bad and have a movie night where you just watch a really bad movie and make fun of it the whole time. Like that's my favorite thing in the world. But let me tell you, my friends and we got like a few movies and one of them was Crossroads.
Yes. And written by Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah. And I was like, I was so mad at how like not bad it was. Like, it wasn't it wasn't the greatest movie in the world, but it wasn't bad. I was like, y'all had me thinking this was going to be bad and this ruined my bad movie night.
Crossroads is a great movie. A great film. A film.
I love a good bad movie. I do love a good bad movie.
Julie, it's a season of Julie.
Oh no, I will not be watching Julie. I need a movie that's like bad though. It can't just be kind of bad. It's got to be like the Room. Have you seen that one with Tommy Wiseau? I own that movie. It's so, but it's so good. It's something. There's pictures of spoons everywhere.
It's always the sex scene with all the falling water. The dialogue is absolutely atrocious.
The audio skips. Yeah, when she's like, so I have cancer.
Do you remember the Lifetime movies from like, I want to say like just the early 2000s? I'm trying to remember any of the names of them. There was the one where the girls had the pregnancy pack.
I think it was called Pregnancy Pack.
Was it? You know what? That makes a lot of sense.
They had the one where that guy, Jeremy Sumpter, who was in Peter Pan, had a porn addiction.
Yes!
Yes, absolutely. Then they had the one where Alexa Vega from Spy Kids was getting bullied at school.
Yes! Oh, Lifetime original movies were for all the kids that missed Disney original movies, but also couldn't go back to them. For me, I transitioned to Lifetime original movies right around like High School Musical and like Camp Rock era on Nickelodeon. I was like, I think it's Lifetime for me now. And it was really great.
I know she transitioned because Camp Rock was never on Nickelodeon. It was Disney.
It wasn't? Was it on Disney? I have no idea. I don't
exactly. That's how I know she transitioned.
As soon as I stopped like right as it was like That's So Raven and Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Yeah.
That was my line right in between. Yeah. I didn't watch Hannah Montana.
And I stayed through like halfway through Hannah Montana. See, that's how you can tell our age difference. She's like 2 years older than me. So.
And that was way after me.
Oh,
I'm in a whole nother generation. So
Like, you guys remember The Color of Friendship?
The Color of Friendship.
That movie was wild.
Did you never see The Color of Friendship, Sharmon?
I did not.
It was like the only movie about racism they had.
It was.
That's probably why I did not watch it, because I told y'all I get very emotionally involved.
Oh, that's right. In that stuff,
and I come out of stuff hating white people, and I'm like, I grew up surrounded by them. I work surrounded by them. I'm like, I can't. I'm gonna be hating y'all. I can't be watching these movies. It took me a long time to watch. Oh God, what was the Viola Davis one with the pie?
The Help.
The Help.
The Help. It took me a long time to watch The Help. I watched it like for the first time 2 years ago.
Before I watched it, and I grew up in a white family, and I remember reading the book and being like, "Wow, y'all are shady, very, very shady."
You know what though? After me and Becky watched 12 Years a Slave, I didn't want to talk to any white people. I didn't.
Yeah, that was a rough.
I was like,
a rough week or so.
I'm not interested. Yeah.
I think we might have kicked Benjaneer out too when we watched that movie. I'm pretty sure I was like,
you don't need to be here.
We're not watching this with you. And it's good, because I think he would have received a lot of very negative energy.
Yeah. that technically he didn't deserve, because that movie, that one still does a number on me. The fact that it's a true story, I think, is what gets me.
Yeah. That was so. There was another one. Did you guys ever watch? I watched Amistad in high school in my U.S. history class.
They made you watch it in history class?
In high school. In my high school U.S. history class, sophomore year.
But were you the only one?
I was one of few.
Because I was like the only one.
But very weird experiences.
Yeah, I used to like dread that one paragraph
because everybody looks
in
at
history class, because everybody looking at you. Everybody.
And and some of them would try they tried not to be so obvious, and then that was almost insulting, because it was implying like you didn't know that everybody there knew that you were the only Black student in the classroom. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. See, this is a big part of my my healing that I'm trying to do, because I had gotten to a point where I'm like, all I wanted to do, I was like, I'm a pip, y'all. I'm in the background. I don't want to be in the forefront, because I've had like a lifetime of people like being the one that stood out like all the time. And so I was always trying to be in the background, not be seen. I don't want to shine. I don't want the spotlight on me. Like, nobody look at me. And so we're trying to unpack that now.
Good. It's never too late, you know?
No, yeah. Step to the front.
And I feel like we probably all have that shared experience of like being one of very few Black people in like,
absolutely,
like school environment, and probably in work environment. I was the only Black person in a lot of places that I worked.
You know what is I realized that I had not been around a lot of Black people in my life when I went to like an orientation, and it was like a really large orientation for this company. And I don't even know, maybe it wasn't even a company. Maybe it was when I was like doing enumerating for the government. But anyways, I walked into this room and everybody had like already taken their seats, and people were sitting like in different groups. Like there were a bunch of men sitting together, women sitting together. And I was just like, there's no Black people here. Where am I? Like, where do I feel most comfortable sitting? And like, I sat down with a group of middle-aged white women, because I was like, this feels right. This feels like the safest place to be right now.
Man in a corner somewhere.
Like something, but I couldn't find anything, and I just ended up sitting with the white women, and I was like, "Hi, hello, fellow women."
Oh no!
Like, these are my people.
Yeah, because there were no Black people to sit with.
So we're gonna jump ahead, because we know
Jump ahead.
We know that comedy just got stolen from Black folks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is where we left off.
And then Black folks are just like, super good at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like there is this like, I don't know what to think of it as, this revolution maybe of inclusivity in a sense. And I feel like I was talking to my dad about this because we were talking about some actress and how she wasn't any good. And he was like, well, she's pretty, right? And he's like, and she's young and pretty. Is that what he said? I was like, well, they don't have to come up with something better than that, right? Because we're being more inclusive. And I'm like, and Black people are better because they've had to be better to get into anything. So I'm like, so we're going to need some better actresses now. Do you guys feel the same way about comedy?
That's hard because I feel like comedy is subjective. So are there a lot of comics out right now that personally make me laugh? Like, I guess I would say like fresher faces that make me laugh. Not necessarily, but you spend so many thousands of hours watching such a variety of comedy in your local scene or like just outside of your local scene. And it kind of all blurs together. And I don't know, Ta'Vi might agree with me on this in that like, you'll think of a funny bit, you know, a funny joke you heard or like whatever, and not necessarily know whether it was like on a comedy special or like at a comedy show. Does that happen to you ever? This could just be me.
Yeah.
Or like I'll think of a joke that I like. Yeah.
Yeah. You start to wonder if it's like, is this just like common thought? Like anytime I hear a joke like about the DMV or something, it's like, well, we all go to the DMV. So has this joke been done before because we're all living on the same earth together? Have I heard it? Also similar joke structures. I mean, people use a lot of the same joke structure over and over again. I mean, even between like misdirect or just straight up set up punchline, and then you start hearing the same topic. So it's like, yeah, everything starts to kind of blur together, which makes it hard to laugh at stuff because unless it's so very obviously innovative, you just kind of like, it's all right. That's a good joke.
I feel like I'm a simple girl. I relate and then I laugh.
But I think the original comment was like about whether or not we feel like there are white people who don't have to try as hard, right? Like
if that's in 100%.
And I think that is very true of comedy as well. I mean, like, yes, there are just like blonde white women I've seen get on stage and get laughs, and these guys, other comedians, will book them, laugh for them, clap for them, cheer for them just because they think that they're hot. And they get all of the things immediately. And it's kind of disheartening, especially being like a dark-skinned fat Black woman. I'm out here trying to have to do it on my own. And everybody thinks that I've got like the upper hand. Like, well, they're looking for people like you, like tokenizing.
That's all they want is like, diversity.
No. Yeah.
And then even the industry only wants a very specific type of diversity.
Yeah.
And I don't know that either one of us check those boxes.
I would say if it weren't for me and Becky actively choosing to do shows together, we would be the only Black people on shows.
Consistently. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll take bookings together. And I'm like, yeah, can Becky come? Can Becky do this thing with me? I want to do I want more women of color in the same lineup. But before that, I was just doing shows and I'd be the only Black person there.
Yeah.
So.
And it was, same for me. Like there would be times where I would go out into the middle of fucking nowhere. I would do these shows and be like, hi, I'm a comedian, in case you were like wondering what the fuck I was doing here for an hour before the show started. Because like, it is weird and uncomfortable and it's hard. The longer you do it, just the more you end up in these spaces. And then you it can feel like really defeating when you see people that are successful just because they're conventionally attractive or because, they're marketable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it goes. That's also, I mean, we've known that and still continue to do this. So.
But you guys are good at it.
It's true.
I like it.
And we'll be fine. We're going to keep going. We'll get there. It just takes, twice as long.
Yeah.
Or maybe it won't. Who knows how long it's going to take us.
We're just going to put it out there in the universe right now that it's just, this is y'all's time. Right? This is your time. We claiming that for you.
I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to ride Becky's coattails to the top.
She always says that, which is so wild because, like, I don't know what she thinks I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. She's blazing a trail for us. That's what she's doing.
Is that what I'm doing? Yeah.
But I'm like, in the meantime, Becky, I'm gonna need some more videos.
Okay.
Yeah. She can post more of her stand-up. She can post funny things. We're supposed to be filming a TikTok after this.
Oh yeah.
Woo-hoo. I'm like, I might have to just end up moving to California so that I can.
We're trying to get everybody out here.
So I can see a show. I feel like I'm doing the opposite thing. Everybody from California is moving to San Antonio and Austin right now. And so I'm going to have to make the opposite trip.
I will be in Austin next fall.
Oh.
So it's like, I know it's like a ways out, but like next.
What are you going to Austin
October.
for? Comedy?
Yeah, I'll go for Altercation Comedy Festival. The producer hit me up to do it this year, but I couldn't make it work. But he said I could come next year.
Ooh.
So you're talking like 2023?
2023. Yeah, it'll be, I think, like the first week of October. And it'll be at Kick Butt Coffee in Austin.
She's just going to abandon me and go to Austin.
I'm like, well, I'm here.
Yeah, that's also where Shaylin lives. So
be your own people.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Put down the origami. You know what?
Thank you for acknowledging that it's origami.
I'm mad. I'm hella mad that I said that.
Thank you. Wow.
Not Ta'Vi played with the desk.
Stop it.
Okay, I'm coming back.
Oh my God.
So I don't know if we were productive or not, but
we were. I think
we recorded a podcast.
I gave a lot of insight and thoughtful conversation, and Ta'Vi
absolutely
loves to make a mockery of me and the things that I do and say.
I'm me all the time, 24/7. Don't book me if you don't want the real shit.
What was the real shit?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Playing with the desk.
Just being myself.
Okay.
Being myself. Sorry. Some of us are neurodivergent and have mental illness.
Yeah, both of us.
Okay, well,
all three.
Some of us, math better than others. Okay.
Oh.
But this was fun.
It was fun. We had a good conversation.
Do you have any other questions for us before we wrap this up?
I feel like I can't even think anymore. I feel like I can't even think anymore.
My bad.
But that's okay. But we do need to know where we can find y'all.
Oh, I'll start. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at that's Becky. You can check out an extended link of my stand-up at that'sbecky.com or in the link tree on my Instagram. And you can check out any upcoming shows I have in California. That's also in my link tree. Trying to think. You hit me up on Venmo so I can pay for my daughter to go to private school. That's that's Becky on Venmo. My Cash App is that's Becky Lynn on Cash App. And yeah, I think that's all for me.
Okay. Well, you can find me 10 toes on the pavement, hanging, banging, slinging that technique. Slinging. Also, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at Ta'Vi Talks Trash. Yeah. And if you want to cash at me or Venmo me, that's in the link trees and all of my bio.
Oh, that's where I should put it.
Yeah.
You should.
I'll do that right now. I mean, not like right this second, but like in a minute.
Well, because my Venmo, I do that because my Venmo is like Tava Latte. It's not Ta'Vi Talks Trash. So I just put it in my thing because I like Tava Latte. That was my original handle for everything. So, and I refuse to let go of it.
But I mean,
it's also, but my Cash App is Ta'Vi Talks Trash. So if you want to cash at me.
Did we cover enough on this? Did we do what we were supposed to do? I feel like this was a lot of not talking
a lot of other stuff.
But
we did fine. We did
Y'all
fine.
are going to be amazed at my editing skills.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening and or watching. Unpacking Ethical is an independent video podcast hosted by the Ethical Network of San Antonio. Your co-hosts are Sharmon, Lebby, and Katie, and we thank you for tuning in. Please follow us on Instagram and our YouTube channel, and hey, leave a review wherever you're listening.